The text came at noon. Wear something appropriate tonight. Sit with the others. Don't make it about you. I read it 3 times. No pleas, no warmth, just instruction. She was graduating law school, my wife. My years of paying tuition, covering rent, swallowing late nights alone. I had imagined the evening differently, her thanking me, maybe holding my hand as speeches rose. Instead, I was told to be quiet, to be grateful for a seat in the audience. The phone buzzed again, this time from the bank. A transfer request, large, urgent, her account, not mine, to her father. The timing struck me. Graduation night, her big stage, money moving in the background. I stared at the screen, pulse steady, thoughts cold. I didn't answer, not yet. I closed the message, pocketed the phone, sat in silence, and for the first time in years, I smiled. That evening I ironed my shirt slowly, though I never planned to attend. Her voice still rang in my head. Sit with the others, like I was one of many, disposable, my name erased from the credits of her story. The party was being held in a private hall downtown. Her father had arranged it. He loved the spotlight. Old lawyer, retired but desperate to feel relevant. He would speak. He always did. But it wasn't his pride that unsettled me. It was the transfer. Large enough to notice, hidden enough to betray. Why her father? Why tonight? I replayed the last few months, her late-night study sessions, always ending with a tired smile and silence. Her sudden distance, the way she corrected me in front of friends, like my words embarrassed her. And lately, the slip, her calling me support, not partner. I had ignored it all, chosen patience, but money leaves no room for doubt. Numbers don't lie, and numbers, unlike words, could be stopped. The bank branch was almost empty when I walked in, a Thursday evening. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. I sat with the manager, calm, collected. I showed him the transfer notice, authorization linked to my joint account. Simple, final. I asked for printouts of the last 6 months. He handed them over in a thick envelope. I didn't open it there. I already knew what I'd find. Patterns, payments, withdrawals, evidence written in ink. When I left the bank, the sky was heavy with rain clouds. Smiling wide, her father beside her, arm around her shoulders. A caption beneath, proud moment. Tonight will be unforgettable. Unforgettable. I folded the bank envelope, slid it under my seat, and drove home. I didn't need to attend. My role had shifted. I wasn't the audience. I was the author. The truth unfolded in silence. At home, I opened the envelope. Line after line of transactions spilled out. Transfers to her father's account, steady over months. Tuition was already paid. Rent already covered. Yet money bled away. My money, dressed as support. And then the detail that stilled me. A separate account, hers alone, fed by those transfers. Withdrawals tagged to luxury boutiques, hotel lounges, dinners, not study sessions, not law school nights. I sat there unmoving, no rage, just clarity. When she called later, her voice was radiant. "You're coming, right? Dad's speech is about to start." "Yes," I said. My tone gave nothing. "I'll be there." And I was. Not at the hall, at the bank's digital portal. Logged in, watching as her father's account froze mid-transfer, watching as balances shift back to mine. I imagined the silence spreading through the party when he checked his phone, the break in his voice as his speech faltered, guests noticing, murmurs rising, and her standing there, smiling for cameras, feeling the collapse without knowing where it came from. That was the truth. She returned home late, past midnight. The smile was gone. Her shoes clicked against the floor, hesitant. "You weren't there," she said. No greeting, just accusation. I placed the envelope on the table, neat, centered. She stared at it, opened it, read, her face drained. I said nothing. She whispered, "You don't understand." I raised a hand, not to silence her, but to end the conversation before it began. She trembled. Her father's reputation shattered. The guests had noticed, the whispers had spread, and she couldn't explain. I didn't need to shout. My silence was enough. I stood, collected my keys, and left. The city was quiet by then, streets slick, neon reflections trembling in puddles. I walked without direction, breathing in the damp night air. No grief, no begging, just clarity. I had funded her dream. She had turned me into background noise. Tonight, I reminded her, and her father, that I was not invisible. There was no need for confrontation, no demand for explanation. The numbers spoke louder than words. I stopped at a corner, watching traffic glide past. My phone buzzed again. I didn't look. I didn't care. She wanted me in the audience, but I was never meant to be in the crowd. I was the one who cut the lights. And when the stage went dark, everyone noticed.